What's Gucci, everybody? If you're watching this video, this is a part 2 to a 2-part series. I will have part 1 linked down below or in the corner up there somewhere. Basically, go check that out first. Otherwise, this may or may not make a whole lot of sense of watching this video. And one more thing I just need to point out that I forgot to actually mention in the actual video itself is that if you get the option to get a new nickname, you could just open and close the application and basically you can have the opportunity to get a new nickname if you're not a fan of the one that the Mafia group gives you. Without further ado, guys, let's get into the video. What's Gucci, everybody? In today's video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to join any Mafia family of your choice, as well as becoming the Godfather. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Now, something to note here is that the amount of money that you currently make for the family early on doesn't really actually matter too much. This is something that I noticed after dying 7 times in a row, and I noticed the less money that I actually put in versus the more money that I put in early on really didn't change anything when it came to actually moving up in the ranks. Now, however, anytime that I did move up further within the ranks, I did notice a slight change within making more money as a benefit for the family, because it shows that you're someone who should be taken very serious with consideration of moving up to the next rank. So basically what I'm trying to say is focus more on crime as well as your notoriety, because when you're an associate and then turn into a soldier, these are things that you have to focus on the most. Once you swear that oath in, you're basically just the muscle in the situation and you have to be treated as such. So just try not to turn down any jobs if you're asked by your boss, but just note you might want to consider saving the game frequently, because doing some of those jobs can actually get you killed, and make sure you're actually reading some of those jobs. Now, don't entirely blindly agree to trying to take out, let's say, a politician versus a basketball player, because a basketball player might be a lot easier to take out versus a politician. Or in one situation, I think I actually was asked to take out a Navy SEAL. So just keep that in mind, that these people can actually turn on you and take you out as a result. So also consider saving very frequently if you want to get this in one lifetime. And if you want to continue to the top tier as a Godfather, just know once you go from a soldier to a capo and so forth, then you don't necessarily have to focus too much on your notoriety. Don't let it start slipping, because those people that you're trying to extort will in fact walk all over you, and the family will in fact notice. So you do want to keep an eye on it, but you don't necessarily have to stress over it as you once did before. Now, in the capo rank and above, you're going to want to try to make sure you're making the most amount of money for the family during the years, because honestly, this is something you have to take into consideration. Making money and trying to move higher in the ranks becomes a lot harder to do. So just make sure that you're delegating certain crimes to your associates as well as your soldiers who are now under you. Now, before you try to rush off and become a Godfather, we need to talk about family. As you should be aware by now, you are within a Mafia family and you have sworn an oath. So whoever is within that family, I do recommend trying to get on their good side. Now, the easiest way on trying to get everyone to like you is not by trying to befriend anyone who is a higher rank than you. This is not something that was always successful. I was able to do it a few times, but I cannot recommend it, because if you do it too many times, they just might try to take you out for themselves. So what I highly recommend is once you actually move up a rank in any form of rank, just go to the lower ranks and befriend them out the gate. But when you're trying to befriend someone within the same rank as you, consider complimenting them first, then maybe spending some time, have a conversation, see what your agreement is with them, and then consider trying to befriend them. Now, it is very important to befriend the family members of this Mafia, because these are the people that you have to work with, and these are the people who can potentially try to take you out at any given moment, and you want to be on their good side. Once you befriend them, you are actually able to give them gifts, and what I mean by that is not clicking on their tab and just trying to give them any random cheap gift. I mean, go out, buy some property, buy a vehicle, buy them maybe even jewelry or a boat, and try to gift them something like that. I know it sounds like it could become very expensive, but again, I have so many different methods on how you can become a billionaire very quickly. So just keep those things in mind when trying to attempt this. Trying to give them a $15 fire stick in this game is probably not going to cut it, but maybe that shiny brand new Lamborghini Aventador that you happen to not necessarily need anymore, they might actually appreciate that. And in some cases, they just might actually crash, and that's an opportunity for you to move up the ranks. Now, another thing to note, in certain situations, you are able to whack someone of the family in order to actually move up within the ranks. Now, this tends to work only really with the associate and soldier kind of rank when it comes to capo, underboss, or even the Godfather himself. This is not something that's going to happen right away from you, because I tried this method by trying to whack every single person in the family, and believe me, they will just become replaced with some random new people, and that way you're not really going to have a chance, because you'll have to retry and befriend all of these people all over again and become on their good side, and we don't have to waste time here and try to redo that all over again. Now let's talk about trying to catch someone who is a snitch, aka a rat. Now, if you ever get the pop-up of someone snitching within the organization, their name is actually going to be displayed right in front of you. So what you have to do is not continue, close out the application, rejoin the application, and from there, again, it's going to reset that before that moment particularly happened. Once you rejoin the application, all you have to do is go right back to that person's name, and from there, all you have to do is just expose them as a rat, and that way it will be verified, and you know 100% that that person was a snitch. And after that, the Mafia should invite you to meet the boss, and then they should congratulate you. And this is going to get you those brownie points to know that you're not a snitch and that you're someone who can be trusted. Now, in some situations, you may get the pop-up that someone in the family actually has made you an enemy. And in those cases, honestly, I never stuck around to kind of find out if I can reclaim them as a friend. Basically, what I did is just whack them out the gate, and that way I didn't have to worry about anybody trying to take me out early. Now, with the consistency of the previous things we just talked about, around 20 years in is when I got upgraded to an underboss, and within close to 40 years, I would like to say, I actually got promoted to a Godfather. Now, one other thing that I did want to retouch back on was whacking someone in order to try to rank up faster. Now, I will say this, with whoever is above you, if they're older and closer to their deathbed anyway, just allow them to die of natural causes, because this won't even remotely raise any form of awareness, and the family will obviously know that they passed away normally. If they get whacked, you do have the potential of being identified and caught ahead of time, and you can close the application, but again, somebody just might pass you within the ranks. But I was able to get this to work on 2 occasions, and that was going from a soldier to a capo. I only had one other person standing in front of me, and I took them out. And when it came to becoming an underboss, it was a similar situation, but at the end of the day, it does still take time. I'm just letting you know that in some situations, you can do this. Don't wipe out everybody, because that's obviously not going to work. But just keep in mind, there are some situations that you might want to consider doing that, because it just might give you the bump you might need in order to do it a lot faster. And that right there, guys, is how you're able to join any Mafia family of your choice and also become the Godfather as fast as you can. Now, before I end this video, I do want to give a quick apology to you guys for not getting this video up as fast as I would have liked to get it up. But I can honestly say that the Candy Writer team is working hard on trying to get the Android code to line up with the iOS code. So they made this update a lot harder than normal. As a lot of you guys have told me in the comment section, when it came to the music update as well as the Pro Sports update, it honestly was kind of easy and a little boring. I'm not trying to knock them for doing those updates, because I really do in fact appreciate those updates, as I'm able to make videos with you guys and play the game a little bit more. But I can agree on the same level that I do actually like this Mafia update, but it's definitely a lot harder than the previous ones, which I kind of like, because it's supposed to stretch itself out a little longer until we get to that next update. But honestly, you guys are awesome for telling me all the different updates you would like to see in Bitlife. And for those who haven't said already, go ahead in the comment section down below right now and actually let me know the different updates you might want to see in the game, because who knows, maybe the creators might actually see this video. But for me personally, all I want to do is see an update that gives us the options to maybe start our own businesses, and maybe like a stock market update. Like honestly, I think that would be a pretty cool thing, and not just like a stock market update where we just click on different tickers and things like that. I mean, I actually want to see, like, someone suggested an animation update where a lot of the different things, like, you know how we get the mini games, something related more to an interactive experience and not just reading all the time. And I truly agree with that. And I think maybe adding in that animation update and maybe seeing it with like a stock market thing, that would be kind of cool. And also for those who don't have the Bitsin or the God mode or things like that, 100%, like maybe a stock market thing would allow you to be able to make a lot of money on early without having to buy or do any of those other things. Now, I just want to give a big shout out over to Adana for becoming a new subscriber here on the channel. You are truly phenomenal. And I want to give another shout out over to Ed's Gaming for asking for a shout out. So you are truly phenomenal as well. And just like that, guys, this is unfortunately the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, go down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And don't forget to hit the little notification bell just so you get notified every time I put a video out like this, guys. And I appreciate you, and I will see you in the next one.